I'd like to call the August 6, 2025 regular meeting of the McKinleyville Community Services District Board of Directors to order. Go ahead, please call the roll.
Director Bender,
Here.
President Beitman,
Here.
Director Couch,
Here.
Director Mayo,
Present.
Director Orsini.
Present.
Certainly.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any additions or changes to the agenda?
We have no additions or changes to the agenda.
I would like to, if it pleases the board, I would like to end our meeting tonight in honor of our colleague who was killed recently in a motorcycle accident. Up to you, Jim.
What are you calling for, Dennis?
I'm asking that we close our meeting tonight in honor of our colleague at Humboldt Bay Municipal Water District who died in a motorcycle accident recently.
Close our meeting there
Tonight,
tonight. When we close our meeting,
Yes.
close it and get on and back and forth.
if that's acceptable to the board.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think Dave would appreciate that.
Thank you.
thank you. May I have a motion to approve the agenda for?
So moved.
Second,
Do we have any closed session tonight at any time during the regular session of board meeting?
President
Right.
Beitman,
For closed session, do we have a closed session for tonight?
before we move on to item 5, we do need to do a roll call for the approval of the agenda. We had a motion and a second. I need to do, yeah.
May we have a vote on the approval for approval of the agenda, please?
Director Benda,
Yes. President
President Beitman,
Yes.
Director Couch,
Yes.
Director Mayo,
yes,
Director Orsini.
Yes.
Anytime during the regular session, the board may adjourn to closed session to consider existing or litigation, liability claims, real property negotiations, license and permit determinations, threats to security, public employee appointments, personnel matters, evaluations and discipline, labor negotiations, or to discuss with legal counsel matters within the attorney-client privilege. Do we have a closed session scheduled for tonight?
There's no closed session scheduled.
Item B, public hearings. These are hearings of a quasi judicial or legislative nature. Public comments relevant to these proceedings are invited. Have we scheduled any public hearing?
No public hearings.
Thank you. We'll move on then to item C on the agenda, which is public comment and written communications. Any person may address the board at this time upon any subject not identified on this agenda, but within the jurisdiction of the McKinleyville Community Services District. However, any matter that requires action will be referred to staff for report of action at a subsequent committee or board meeting. As to matters on the agenda, an opportunity will be given to address the board when the matter is considered. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Letters should be used for complex issues. Have we any public comment at this time? Okay, thank you. Doesn't look like there is.
how about on the board?
There's nobody on Zoom.
Are you on Zoom? We're Zoomless.
Hmm.
Yes, tonight is a Zoomless night. Okay. We'll move then to the consent calendar. Consent calendar items are expected to be routine and non-controversial, to be acted upon by the Board of Directors at one time without discussion. If any board member, staff member, or interested person requests that an item be removed from the consent calendar, it shall be removed so that may be acted upon separately. Does anybody wish to have any item removed for separate action? Seeing none, we'll move then to,
I'll move to approve the consent calendar.
okay, in a second.
Second.
Roy, please.
Director Bender,
Yes.
President Bateman,
Yes.
Director Couch,
Yes.
Director Mayo,
Yes.
Director Orsini.
Yes.
We move now to continue to item E, which is continue to new business. And the first item on this is to consider approval of a memorandum of agreement, an MOA, between McKinleyville Community Services District, MCSD, and Wright Tree Service. And there's an attachment there. Who is to present this?
I am.
Item one,
I thought item one was the, for meeting schedule.
say again,
No.
One is consider approval.
E1,
Page 81.
consider.
81. First thing was.
I'm confused. I'm sorry.
And this-
Go ahead.
This shows up on.
Page 81.
Page 81. Thank you. Appreciate your help. Way back here, page 81. And Kirsten, it's your job to present this. Would you do so, please?
Yes, I will. Thank you. Wright Tree Service of the West Incorporated has requested access to the McKinleyville Community Forest to conduct periodic tree trimming and hazard reduction training exercises for its employees. The proposed memorandum of agreement, or MOA, establishes a mutually beneficial partnership whereby Wright Tree Service will provide some vegetation management services at no cost to the district in exchange for limited coordinated use of that designated trees in the community forest for training of their staff. Under the agreement, Wright Tree Service will remove dead wood and conduct tree trimming areas in near the Murray Road parking area between designated training areas 1 and 2, as seen in your attachment number 1. So that's the upper parking lot area. This area is heavily used by the public, and removal of the dead wood will improve safety for visitors by reducing the risk of falling limbs. All activities will be coordinated in advance with MCSD Parks and Rec staff and will require that work areas be cleaned and restored post-activity. This agreement includes provisions for indemnification, insurance, and a 1-year term renewable upon mutual agreement. Either party may terminate the agreement with 30 days notice. All training activities are non-exclusive and limited in scope, ensuring minimal impact to public access or forest integrity. The training sessions will contribute to hazard reduction and overall forest health while reducing district costs for similar services. Staff believes this partnership aligns with MCSD's forest stewardship goals and recommends approval. At the July 15th, 2025 McKinleyville Community Forest Committee, they voted unanimously to recommend approval of the agreement to the Board of Directors. So the staff recommendation is that the board review the information provided, discuss, take public comment, and approve the MOA between MCSD and Wright Tree Service, and authorize the general manager to execute the MOA with Wright Tree Service.
Thank you, Kirsten. Do we have any comments or discussion among the members of the board on this agreement? Dennis?
I have one. I appreciate this, and I've hired these folks to work for me, and I know you have, and they do excellent work, and I support this agenda item.
Very heavy.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's a great idea. These partnerships sometimes come in strange packages, and I think that this is a great way to benefit MCSD and to allow Wright Tree Service to have the opportunity to be able to train in a more controlled environment. And then the question I had was, did District General Counsel have a chance to review this?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Scott?
I just wanted to say that I think that this is completely a win-win situation for everybody. I mean, the amount of people that wish to improve our property, not only Wright Tree Service, but the Mountain Bike Tribal Trail Alliance, as well as the Humboldt Trail Stewards who came out today with a flyer advertising trail work days starting on the second Saturday of each month. Yeah, people are really stepping up to help us, and I very much appreciate it as an individual.
Thank you. David?
Nope. Nothing to add.
No?
Then I'll move this item per staff recommendation.
Second the item.
Joey, would you call the roll?
Director Bender,
Yes.
President Beitman,
Yes.
Director Couch,
Yes.
Director Mayo,
Yes.
Director Orsini.
Yes.
Going to item E2, which is consider appointment of Amy Scott to the vacant voting seat on the Parks and Recreation Committee. And again, Kirsten, you get the honor of presenting this.
Thank you. It is the duty of the Board of Directors to vet and select the most qualified candidates to become members of the park or the Parks and Recreation Committee. The Board of Directors is obligated to interview all candidates, discuss the candidates' qualifications, and select the most qualified candidate to serve on the committee by majority vote. There is currently one voting member seat open on the park. We currently have both alternate seats also vacant. The park made a motion at their July 16th, 2025 meeting to recommend that the MCSD Board of Directors fill the one vacant voting seat with Amy Scott. Staff recommends that the board consider the information provided, air questions, take public comment, and vote on the appointment of Amy Scott to the Parks and Recreation Committee as a voting member for a term of 4 years.
Shall we begin with considering the information provided?
Sorry, Jim, I can't.
Okay. Shall we begin with considering the information provided, which is the application by Amy? Are there any comments or considerations on this information?
Well, I have a comment. I'm a little confused. Are we considering one, the information, and then two, the appointment, or is this all one? I'm a little unclear on that. I was taking back. It's all one. Thank you. Yeah, and I am, so if it's all right to make my comment.
Go for it.
Thank you. I am totally in support of this, but I'm a little unclear on the language. I said we were supposed to vet this, and is this our vetting process right now? Okay, that's all. Thank you. I'm fine. Just not clear.
Yeah, I think it says vet and select.
I'm good.
Greg, do you have thoughts or comments?
I looked at Amy's, Amy, right? Yeah, I looked at Amy's, her application, and it seemed like good. She's interested in doing this, and I'm glad that she's willing to volunteer to do it, and I wish her good luck at it, and I'm definitely in support of recommending her for approval.
Thank you.
I find Amy exceptionally well qualified based upon what she put here. She, does have, this struck me particularly strongly, that she does have grant writing experience that may come in very, very handy for us. Another thing that I noticed, and this does not pertain to Amy, but the application needs its district mission statement updated.
It has been fully updated to have our new everything after this one came in. So what is on the website now has been fully updated because of me receiving this one that had some errors. Like it also has Leslie's email address still.
Okay.
So yes, that has already been done. But I can't I didn't want her to have to fill out another one.
Dennis?
Yeah, so I appreciate the comments about grant writing, and later tonight in our political discussions, what's going on, I will be bringing up a grant writing seminar specifically designed for special districts from California Association of Water Agencies, which I would like to get that information to her. It should be very informational and helpful. And even if she knows all of this, the connections are great. So I'm good with that.
Thank you. Stephen?
Well, she seems well qualified. I would love to urge staff to have people like this show up so we could.
So she did show up to the park committee and was
Okay.
able to speak to them. She had a prior engagement for this evening, so she did let me know that ahead of time. But she did come to the park meeting and was able to kind of expand to the park on her application when they were considering it.
Okay, great. That's all I needed.
Okay. Any other comments? I too found from this information well qualified and delighted that she would be interested in serving and helping us.
Oh, did we make a motion? Should I make a motion? I would move that we appoint Amy Scott to the vacant voting seat at the Park and Recreation Committee.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second.
I think we had a double second.
We want a second and a third. We want to challenge. Joey, would you pick one of those as a second?
Yes, but we should take public comment as well.
That's right. Should we take a
Hey.
public comment, please?
We have more people.
Comment from staff members? Hearing none. Shall we call the motion?
Director Bender,
Yes.
President Beitman,
Yes.
Director Couch,
Yes.
Director Mayo,
Yes.
Director Orsini.
Yes.
That's probably just as well. I'll get closer to it.
Except for the people online can't hear you.
Yes.
I can't hear you either. I'm sorry, but I'm deaf, so that's okay.
Well,
Doesn't
Just-
matter if I hear anyway.
when you can't hear, raise your hand. I can see.
I wanted up all night, Jim. Okay.
All right, the next item on our agenda is item E3, which is to consider the regular board meeting dates, time and location for the 2026 calendar year. Am I coming through? Okay. And Joey, would you please present that for us?
Thank you, President Beitman. Both the MCSD rules and regulations and the Board of Directors policy manual address this topic. Regular meetings of the Board of Directors shall be held on the first Wednesday of each calendar month at 6 p.m. at either Azalea Hall, 1620 Pickett Road, or the district office, 1656 Sutter Road, as specified by the agenda. Additionally, the public may be able to attend regular board meetings by teleconference via Zoom. The date, time, and place of the regular meeting shall be reconsidered annually. Staff has reviewed the 2026 dates and has taken note that the January meeting would land on January 7th, 2026. With the Christmas Eve/day and New Year's Eve/day holidays falling in the 2 weeks prior to the meeting, it would be staff's preference for the January meeting to be omitted and items consolidated with the February meeting. The remaining 11 dates appear unproblematic. Board members are encouraged to review all the proposed dates and come to the October 1st, 2025 board meeting with any other potential conflicting dates. Staff recommends the board review and discuss the proposed schedule for McKinleyville Community Services District regular board meetings held on the first Wednesday of the month for the 2026 calendar year. Outside of the board meeting, directors are requested to review the attachment and provide any conflicting dates to the board secretary, either in person or in an email. This item will be scheduled again for the October 1st, 2025 board meeting, at which time the board members will make a final decision on proposed dates.
Okay. Do we have any discussion of this from members of the board? It's basically to continue on with the same meeting program we've had in the past. Greg? please.
I appreciate the necessity for, or the opting out of the January meeting because of how close it falls with Christmas and New Year's. Was there any thought about the December meeting, considering there's 6 days between Thanksgiving and the meeting?
There was not,
Thanksgiving was on the 26th this year, or in 26.
staff can discuss that and consider it and bring any comments or concerns back to the October meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else from any member of the board?
No.
Members of the staff? Any comments, any additional information? Members of the public? Since this is an informational item, I'd like to close it, and the action will be at the October 1st, 2025 regular board meeting. And by that time, any issues that need to be resolved will be resolved by tomorrow. Okay. All right. With that, I'd like to move on to item E4. I expect this is going to take a little more time. It's to review and discuss the annual board self-evaluation. And Joey has nicely put together this for us in a way that I think makes good sense. And so, Joey, would you please present this? And I think I'd like to call on you to moderate the discussion that follows, if I may, please.
Thank you, President Beitman. Per the Board of Directors Policy Manual Rule 11, the board is committed to its own performance as a board to identify the board's strengths and areas in which it may improve the board's functioning. The goals of the self-evaluation are to clarify roles, to enhance harmony and understanding among board members, and to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of the board meetings. The goal is to improve MCSD policies for the benefit of the McKinleyville community and employees of the district. Members of the board completed the approved self-evaluation questionnaire consisting of several open-ended questions. The results have been compiled for the number of board members that completed the forms as attachment 1. To promote discussion, staff suggests the board consider the following questions during their conversation. What specific accomplishments or challenges from the past year best reflect how we function as a board, and how can we build on or learn from those experiences? In what ways have we effectively supported the district's mission and staff, and where might we improve our collaboration or strategic focus? How well do we communicate as a board, both internally and with the public, and what changes could enhance our transparency, engagement, or decision-making process? And lastly, do we as a board want to schedule a board retreat or strategic planning meeting this fiscal year? Staff recommends that the board review the information presented, process desired outcomes, and overall compilation of data, open for public comment, and discuss the results of the 2025 board self-evaluation.
I'm presuming that the members of the board are familiar with this, and I'm sure I'd like to turn it over to you to moderate our discussion, please.
Certainly. So, I will open it up to the board for any comments or questions they had about responses to the initial evaluation.
First of all, Joey, thank you for aggregating these for us. I appreciate that very much. I also would like to thank the board members for being thoughtful in their answers to these, and it was enlightening to read them and see kind of where everybody stands on their and how they feel about their own performance related to being a board member. Seems to me that I didn't see any really glaring areas that board members were saying that they felt like they weren't able to, that they're not able to participate, or that they're not getting the information necessary for them to be able to participate, or that they had a problem with the other board members. It's not always been that way. And so it's good to see that there's quite a bit of harmony within the board of directors right now. So anyway, that's really all I had. Thank you.
So Jim, if go ahead.
Address Joey, please.
Say again?
I think it's best if we let Joey moderate our discussions.
Go ahead, Director Mayo.
Okay, I just wanted to comment on, I don't care who tells me, what Greg said. When I came on the board many years ago, there was a lot of contention that way. And I'm very happy to say for many years now, here, this board and our staff have always worked diligently to not be in that kind of a vein. So I'm very, very happy to participate with all of you. And this is a very diverse board and has been for quite some time. And we don't agree on a lot personally, but we all agree on the job we do for this district. So I appreciate that from everybody.
I think we're not diverse in what we look like, but we're diverse in our thoughts.
Director Bender, did you have any comments?
I just kind of like to mirror what they said about, we being very different people. However, when we get together in this room as a group, we put our philosophical and political, all those differences aside and stick to our mission. We stick to our singleness of purpose, which is doing the business of the MCSD on behalf of our constituents. And for that, I'm extremely grateful that we're able to do it.
Director Couch, did you have anything to add?
Not right now. We got it all covered there.
Joey, I'd like to add one.
Can I add one more thing? Speak to them all. Oh, Dennis said I can't, so. I just wanted to also thank staff and management for bringing us the information that we need to make these decisions, and that's so very important for us to be able to make informed decisions. You need good information to make informed decisions, and I think that we go out and fetch input from. I know that the vast majority of us go out and get information from the community, and if we don't go out looking for it, they come and find us. So I think that that's helpful, but I think the most helpful thing is just the quality of the information provided by staff in the board packets. So I just wanted to make sure that we thank staff for making it that much easier on us by the quality of the board, the agendas.
President Bowman?
I want to echo what Greg just said a minute, add a little bit to it, which is that I have greatly appreciated the work that staff have done to keep us as members of the board engaged and informed about what's going on. And that of course includes what we get presented at the meeting, but it also includes the discussions that take place during committee meetings. The information that we get, Pat, your regular letters coming out that keep us appraised of what's going on. And the opportunities we have to, mostly I think through committees, but to engage with members of the staff to listen and learn, so that when we sit down to deal with an issue, we're doing so, as Greg said, we're doing so with a feeling that, and I think the honest belief that we're well informed in what we're doing. And I want to express my gratitude for that.
Whether it's delusional or not, at least we do.
Exactly.
I think that your comments summed up the general gist of those first three questions. So the question that staff wanted to know was, do you as a board want to schedule a retreat or strategic planning meeting this fiscal year?
I'm amicable to that if it's supported by a majority of the board members.
Okay, I'll speak. One of the things that I have, shall we say, I've struggled with is the kind of communication that I'm accustomed to having had in corporate settings. And where there's been open discussion, we have had opportunities to debate issues. And while our board meetings and our committee meetings do give us a certain level of opportunity, they don't give the opportunity to really sometimes dig into things that we would like to. And I would like to see an opportunity for a less formal setting in which we can work on some issues together. And I think we have a few. I don't think we have anything that is earth-shaking or likely to be traumatic in terms of the future of the district. But nonetheless, the understanding and the camaraderie that develops when we can have an open and informal exchange of ideas, I think is very useful. But that's my thought, and that's based on past experience.
Yeah, and I think that a board retreat would be a good opportunity to do that. Obviously, it would be publicly noticed and the public would be open to attend to be in compliance with the Brown Act as we strive to be. But I believe a board retreat would provide that opportunity.
I support that concept completely.
Director Binder?
I think they ought to have a board retreat every year, actually.
Director Couch, any further comment? We have. Well, we had strategic planning, but we've had board retreats in the past, which obviously will be in McKinleyville, but a retreat nonetheless.
Can't hear you, Dave.
Sorry, I was gonna say, we go to our meeting, we're all in the car together, sometimes I remember.
Yes, but we don't discuss district business.
Dave, just because you and I talk about hay prices, what's that got to do with the district?
Yeah, I just want to preface my answer that I think that it's a good idea that we do a board retreat as long as it's amicable with the majority of the board members. I would like to preface that with if we have some things of substance to discuss during that. So if we can work through and get a good agenda together about things that we're going to discuss, what the measurements are the decisions that we make can be measured in that. I think that I just don't want to sit in a room for 3 or 4 hours, eat a sub sandwich and in bullshit. I think that we need to get something accomplished. That's my preface. Thank you.
Greg, I appreciate that comment. And I think as you know, looking at this board, we're not type As, we're triple type As, so that will definitely occur.
Great. Go ahead, Pat.
Thanks, Joey. Yeah, so I think what we'll do, I guess I'm thinking after the start of the budget, so after the first of the year, after staff starts pulling together the budget, and if we have questions related to that, we can come to you guys, but I think we'll likely have Leslie Frisbee, our human resource director, facilitate, and we'll put together, she'll probably send out a questionnaire of, hey, are there any topics you're interested in? We likely will have a list of topics that staff is interested in having discussions and do some back and forth with you all and staff and come up with an agenda.
Just a point for conversation. I know we wanted to rotate these folks when we do this, different facilitators, and we have. But I'm wondering if Leslie would be appropriate in this situation. I found her to be an exceptional leader in this, and it's been a while since we've done it. And I just wanted to throw that out as something to keep in mind.
I think that's a great idea.
Thank you. And with that, Director Beitman, or President Beitman, I will pass it back to you to open for public comment.
Okay. I guess the only comment that I would add to that is, we appreciate it if you or, that or some member of the staff would take the steps forward to get us scheduled and, get us on the calendar. Oh, yeah. Let's ask for public comment on this. How do our members in attendance feel about a board retreat to which you would be invited? Make that clear. Okay. The members of the staff, your thoughts or comments? Okay. Shall we move on to our next agenda item? Are we ready for it? That's okay. You can come and go as you wish. Thank you. Our next item is item E5, which is consider approval of the Senior Center Management Services and Usage Agreement between McKinleyville Community Services District and the McKinleyville Senior Center. And that is to be presented by Kirsten again. And Scott, you had some thoughts about whether you wish to participate, or whether it'd be appropriate to do so.
Well, my thoughts on this was, since I'm the executive director of the senior center and this is being discussed by the board, I should recuse myself from any and all conversation regarding this agenda item. And I'm just going to go out and wait out in the hall, and Joey can give me a text when he wants me back in. So with that, I'll make my exit.
So is there some financial gain you'll get personally from this decision?
Not personally, but I just don't want to give the impression of any sort of impropriety personally, so.
Understand.
Yep. Thank you, Scott.
Be legal, but I want to do it.
You just want to get out of this agenda.
Quick, call him back.
Oh,
They take a while. They're not a quick.
Kirsten, I think you have the honor of
All
taking
right,
us through.
are we ready? For the past several years, the district and the McKinleyville Senior Center, MCS, or MSC, sorry, have operated under a management services and usage agreement for the MSC's use of Azalea Hall, specifically the meeting room, This agreement, the agreement for this year is consistent with the 2024 agreement. While the actual cost, monthly cost of providing 1/3 of the utilities and janitorial supplies at the facility has increased to $705, reflecting a 10.33% raise. The district is proposing to keep the monthly charge at $639. This decision reflects the district's recognition of the valuable services of the senior center provides to the community and its willingness to absorb the increased costs. Maintaining the rate at $639 represents a 10% or 10.33% cost savings to the senior center and is a goodwill gesture on part of the district. This accommodation will remain in place until the Parks and Recreation Department is able to eliminate its Measure B deficit and pay off the teen center construction loan. The management services and usage agreement can be viewed in Attachment 1. Attachment 2 is Exhibit B, which is the schedule of use. And the recommendation is that staff recommends the board review the information provided, take public comment, and consider approving the senior center management services and usage agreement as is or with modifications for a term of 1 year and authorize the board president to execute the agreement.
Thank you, Kirsten. Members of the board, do have questions? Yeah, and I think it's appropriate to address them to Kirsten.
So, I appreciate this and, it's all pretty straightforward. The guts of the agreement itself are all pretty standard for things that we've done in the past. So, my concern is, related to the fact that this agreement was put in place, that there's a value to renting them the senior room. There's also a value in them having people here that can show the place. And so there's this basis that we determined many years ago related to the fair market value for the value of the rental of the place. And then the labor for them basically keeping the place open during the day and occupied. I have a really hard time with a goodwill gesture when it comes to gift of public funds, of them not paying the cost that was originally, without some sort of justification for that. I really appreciate the goodwill gesture, but financially, could we justify this if somebody came to us and said, this is a gift of public funds? They're not paying their fair share. Can we justify that?
Yeah, staff had a long discussion about this. So we are limited by law how much we can annually increase rent. And the 10.33% actually is more than we're allowed by law.
Yeah, but we're not charging them. This is not rent. This is to cover the cost of consumables.
I guess we did not run that by legal counsel, but I guess we were considering a rent and that it would fall within that law. We can talk to legal counsel about that, but it was 8 per 8. What did you calculate? Was our allowable?
Oh, if it is considered rent, it was 8.8%,
Yeah,
which would have been $695.
So 695 is the only, well, unless we talk to legal counsel and legal counsel considers different. That So sorry, not really answering your question. You're right. The issues that you brought up about having somebody here, having somebody patrolling it, having, allowing other people who need to use or want to use the room and having Scott here to unlock it and let them in are additions to what value they provide. They also had a lot of influence on the passage of Measure B and talking to the public about, hey, one of the huge advantages that Parks and Rec provides to this community is the senior center. And I know a lot of you seniors are on fixed income, but this is going to go directly to benefiting the senior center and benefiting the community as a whole. That could be argued as, a non-monetary value they bring to the district as a whole, and the Parks and Rec in particular. I'll shut up.
The other consideration that was brought up when Pat and I met with Scott in wearing his senior center, he was very clearly not wearing his MCSD director hat. He was wearing his senior center hat, was that when the senior center was established, I guess that they were rent free. And so it was years later that then when rising costs went up, that we asked them to contribute. So they are of the impression that they would like to get back to the rent-free model. So this was this is where staff's kind of trying to find a middle road.
Yeah. And so, and to go back to, it was rent free, but then we had issues with the public. And it was called into concern of the gift of public funds. And that's why all of our rents, whether it be at our people that are caretakers for our properties, or whether it's here at the senior center or whether it's across the way at the sheriff's substation, that there's got to be an assessment, or I believe there's got to be an assessment of what the market value for that property is. And then there's got to be an exchange in services to justify them not paying market value for the property, for the rent. And that's all I'm saying. I think that it could put us at a risk. There's definitely a liability in that if somebody from the public wanted to make hay about that. And so, like I said, the goodwill thing, that was like a big red flag for me, that we're basically going to give them something because it's goodwill, the district's goodwill. I don't know. I'll go with what the rest of the board decides on this, but I think that we've got to be able to defend it business wise.
Yeah, and I think looking at compatibles, I think you're exactly right. Looking at the library and the sheriff's library, the county pays no rent for the use of the library.
Yeah.
Absolutely, the library provides a service to the community. Sheriff pays very similar to rent as this rent for the senior center for theirs, and of course they provide service to the community as well.
Yeah, but we also get a bunch of other stuff from them, like
from the
like SWAP and the work crews and things like that too.
Yeah. But we don't get that from the county, from the library for the county. From the county for the library rental. But absolutely, it's a service, and I think the seniors would argue that they are providing a service to the community as well, to providing a space for seniors to come in and.
Okay. Yeah,
it is absolutely the board's decision.
Go ahead.
Dennis?
You want to say something?
No,
Go
I,
ahead.
I'll, trust me, I'll get mine in.
All right, well, I appreciate, Greg's concern and I think we all share that and should share that. Uh, for quite a few years, the senior center was a real concern for me. Not that the senior center itself was a concern, but that it wasn't living up to maximization of its potential here for us. And when I was board chairman, president, whatever the hell we are, I tried to appoint two different people there that I was hoped would bring that group into a more dynamic position. Well, the third person, who is our director, Bender, took that challenge on and has done in spades what I had hoped would happen here. And I think our senior center has risen to an amazing position relative to sometime in the past. And we're looking to do even greater things. For our senior community that is growing. And I want to support all of this. I do think, however, relative to what Greg said, I think it's probably behooves us to have this vetted just a little more. Have we spoken to our attorney on a kind of a so that it gets codified as the library and the sheriff's department, so that we know that it's all to Hoyle, I guess is what I'm saying. Anyway, those are my comments, guys.
I want to add one comment, maybe it's more of a question than anything else. It's a confession, I guess, that I really do not understand the limits and purposes of the usage of the funds from Measure B. And in my kind of simplified way of understanding it, Measure B supports community-based activities of one sort or another. And in my mind, the senior center is one of those community-based activities. And by all rights, any funding is within the purview of the purpose of Measure B. And why there would be rent charged at all, I wonder. If we're taxing.
They're paying their share of the power bill and paying for a portion of the cleaning supplies. They're not really paying rent.
If we are taxing the people of this community to provide community support activities through Measure B, then why are we also asking those activities to pay? To me, there's an inconsistency that I don't understand.
I don't know.
Yes, I don't understand it.
I don't know whether this is an accurate answer or not, Jim, but we require the soccer fields and the ball diamond and those to pay their fair share of the stuff that we do. And I think that's a similar situation. That's all.
I think it's very comparable.
Now, that may not answer the question and
Can I maybe
Kirsten, you
hopefully
wanna
provide?
speak to that, please?
I do want to, the word activities is very troublesome. Measure B specific. It cannot be used for any recreational activities. It cannot be used for administration. So none of my salary comes out of Measure B. It is strictly parks maintenance, and parks facilities and parks. And so it can be used for the maintenance salaries. It can be used for maintaining the buildings. It can be used for buying supplies for the buildings. It can be used for PG&E for the buildings, but activities is strictly a no.
gotcha.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up.
So I want to say, I just want to be very, very clear that Measure B does not cover our youth basketball league.
Yeah.
or my time or anything recreation.
It would have to come out of the general fund.
Yes, so I want to just clarify that there is that difference. While I understand that the senior center, because they get to use this space, are able to provide their activities, we are not funding their activities through Measure B. We're just, it's helping them to have a space to offer them. So similar to our sports leagues that pay for field use.
That I think is clear. But the listing of what they're being asked to pay for are the things that you just, to me, you just described as the things that Measure B pays for.
Correct. So the third of what we've been asking them to pay is for janitorial supplies and utilities. And they actually do not pay any labor. So if we added in labor, their rent would be 1/3. I shared that with Scott when we met with him. I don't have it in front of me, but the labor of this building would probably double the rent for our guys just coming in and cleaning,
Right. And they're here every day.
pretty much.
No, they're here every day.
Yeah,
They
I
really
think-
are. Yeah.
I think that what we're asking, if they continue to pay 1/3 of what we're asking for, they're getting a heck of a deal.
Right. I agree.
Well, I was gonna say, I don't mind if they get a heck of a deal. I think. if we
Dave, I
were-
can't hear you, buddy.
I was gonna say, I don't mind if they get a heck of a deal, because I thinking if we monetize the amount of time they spend here, just having the building open by having somebody be here, that would really offset quite a
Right.
bit of money.
Well, except for if you calculate out that it's probably $100 a square foot for commercial space. And, they're basically not,
Yeah, I can see that, but I still would stick to my point.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the answer is, but I just want to add that I have a soft spot because these are the folks that paid all the bills for this community for many, many years. So,
Comments from other members of staff. Person. I'd like to hear your comment. I'd like to hear yours. Nobody likes that. No. Staff members, please.
so where are we at, guys?
No, I want to hear from the public as well. Yes, sir.
I would simply say that you also have to consider the opportunity costs that if you drive your current tenant out of the building because you charge them too much rent, who is going to be renting the building? And are you just going to have an empty building as opposed to a productive building? Which when you look at commercials, real estate right now, a lot of it is empty, unproductive buildings.
Good point.
retail is, that's for sure.
Good point. That's a valid point.
Okay. May I have the appropriate motion to approve this usage agreement between McKinleyville Community Services District and the McKinleyville Service Center.
Also move.
And a second, please.
I'll second.
Are we ready for the question? Joey, will you call the roll, please?
President Beitman,
Yes?
Director Couch,
Yes.
Director Mayo,
Yes.
Director Orsini,
Abstain.
Okay, the motion carries. 3.
Is that what that is?
Joey, would you invite Director Bender to rejoin us, please?
I will give him, I need.
Welcome. We move from the continue to new business to reports. And we'll begin with the active committee reports, starting with Parks and Recreation. Scott, can you?
Okay, I did not attend this last month. Did you?
No, as a matter of fact, I was sick.
Okay,
All right, so we have no report.
no report there.
How about the McKinleyville Area Fund?
Gillville Area Fund did not meet.
I have something to add to that. I spoke to John Colstead about 5 times in the last couple of days on some grant applications and stuff, and he's helping us at McKinleyville Rodeo Arena. And we've got some nice stuff put together. And I just spoke to him a few minutes ago, and he said, if you would, please tell the board that we're working diligently on other McKinleyville applications, and he just wanted to thank us for our participation and that he dedicated to the process. So,
Okay. Cool. Thank you, James. Dennis, can you give us a report on REDAC?
I can give you a report on REDAC. We did not meet.
Oh, that was quick.
That's a good report.
These are all going to be quick, I think.
Senior Center Board Liaison, I guess that's.
That would be me as always. And we did meet, and we meet Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. until 3:30 p.m. And we are always out there having fun, sharing and caring, just like always. A couple of weeks ago, we did host another edition of our Popular Death Cafe, which we try to do every 3 or 4 months. And it was well attended. And, Dr. Belton really enjoys coming here and talking to our participants in an attempt to normalize the conversation of death so that it isn't scary and that we can talk about death in order to live a more fulfilling life while we're still alive. And not only that, but News Channel 3 did contact us, and we sat down for an interview with Mr. Navarro, and that was on the news last week. And so we got we got several phone calls. So we're looking forward to a more robust participatory session come November when we schedule our next one. And other than that, things are just going great. Our sale program is averaging between 30 and 40 people on any given Tuesday or Thursday morning. And we're adding another participant tomorrow morning. So we'll bump that one up by a notch. Our Tai Chi program starting to meet on the South Lawn now, and they did lose a few members, but we're working on some promotional material to try to get her group back up to the strength that it was a few months ago. Other than that, business as usual.
Great job. Thank you. Audit and Finance, the Audit and Finance Committee met. We got partway through our agenda. Can you give us a quick summary?
Sure, quick. Not a long on that one. So anyway, we met yesterday and we went through and reviewed and approved an investment policy for that the board will see, I think, September at the September board meeting. That's a new policy that we've never had before. It's something that's been needed for a long time. And it was recommended or it was a request by our auditor, or they asked for it. They asked to see one and we didn't have one. So I want to thank Samantha for putting this together and staff going through it. It was very well thought out, and myself and Director Beitman were very comfortable with recommending approval by the board, and you'll see that in September. We also went through our expenditure control guidelines, which we've had for a long time. The CUP-CCAA, which is the California Uniform Public Construction Cost Accounting Act, was updated in January. And we've already, and our staff has already brought us an update for our expenditure control policy. And that also will be coming to the board for approval in September. And we also had a brief discussion about the rate study and when the rate study is due again. We asked staff to project out what our reserves will look like at the end of the current rate study. And then we'll make a determination on whether we would recommend back to the board that they do wait until the end of the 5-year period or bring it back to the board for consideration of doing the rate study a little bit earlier. And that's all we did.
We used up all of our meeting time for that, and we want to thank Samantha for the careful presentation she put up for us, so thank you. Employee negotiations, I guess
That's me. We did not meet.
did not meet, okay.
Mhm.
McMack, where do we go with that? Is it- you wanna
Okay,
have-
that'd be me. Okay, the McKinleyville Municipal Advisory Committee did meet in special session on the 30th of last month. And it was originally agendized for Planning Director John Ford to bring back the final EIR for the project, Town Center project, and to go over the Town Center ordinance language. And the final EIR was not done. So he did bring in the draft EIR marked up with some specific options that he wanted to dial in to bring back for the September meeting. One of which was there were 5 bullet points, and the only bullet point that we took action on before we ran out of time for the item was to keep the original number of housing units that were approved in the Town Center ordinance, which is 2,650 maximum units at full build out. He proposed an alternative of that to 80% of that build out. Findings were that this was more environmentally friendly. But the members of the public who spoke were overwhelmingly in favor of we need housing. Build it to the maximum amount that's in the Town Center ordinance. And that's what the MCMAC committee motioned on and ended up approving. The other items that Mr. Ford wanted guidance on will be forwarded to the September meeting of the committee. And that would include the road diet. So we're expecting that.
So you didn't act on the road diet question?
No,
Okay.
we did not act on the road diet question. The McKinleyville Family Resource Center is leading the 2nd annual community survey, and the MCMAC proposed some additional questions for that. We went through the proposed questions, made some modifications, and forwarded that on to the MFRC for inclusion in their survey. And we did approve for MCMAC to maintain membership with McKinleyville Chamber of Commerce and participate tabling at Music in the Park and other events. And the subcommittee reports, the Committee for Active Transportation, the Incorporation Exploration meeting, and the 4x4 that was attended by you, Pat, Joey, and other ones that was reported out on too. So we look forward to the September meeting. Maybe we can get this done finally.
Okay. I got a question.
Please.
Or a comment. Yeah, I think that one of the things that was troubling to a lot of the people in the community was the 2,560 units or whatever it is. I think the misnomer amongst some of the people in the community is that they're going to put 2,650 units behind Safeway in the town center ordinance and the EIRs for the whole town center, not just so that you have to count already the units that are already in the town center area. So I think that when you consider the whole town center, the 2,600 is it's not a large number. It's only 16 units per acre. So
Right. Another thing to consider also is that with the existing zoning as it sits right now, the number can actually legally be much greater
Oh,
than that,
yes.
Right.
probably 40% more than that.
Right.
yeah, 30 units per acre,
Right.
double.
Right. So sometimes I think it'd be important in these comments and official comments that you put potential. These are units, like our arena numbers. These are
I believe I used the word
projection.
could.
Say again,
I
Scott.
said, I believe I used the word could.
Well, wasn't here. I was out in the gentleman's room.
Oh,
So I
okay.
apologize. Anyway, so that's all. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's reiterating that in a way to the public that they understand these are projections
Yeah.
and stuff. Because people
Right.
hear that, they go, "Oh my God, next week or in the
Yeah.
next year, we're going to have all of this."
Well, and
I can't even imagine that scale of build out, 100%.
You and I
built out.
can't, but some people might.
But I think the thing too that we got to understand is that's for the whole town center, and a lot of people are thinking 2,650 units behind Safeway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I get it. Anyway, yeah, it's just a semantics deal, but I think it helps sometimes to lower the level of heat or whatever, that's all. And I appreciate you saying that. I apologize. I wasn't here to hear it.
We'll forgive you this time, please.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Just this time.
I haven't been forgiven much this year, so I appreciate any
Anybody-
forgiveness.
Anybody else wish to comment on
Right now, it might not last.
McMack? Okay. Next report is the Community Forest Committee. And I was not able to attend that. Did you attend?
No, I was flitting about the countryside also, so we'll have to rely on Pat to give us an update on that, or Kirsten, whichever.
Yeah, I was to chair it, but I conveniently got quite ill, so.
Yep, so I ended up running the meeting since you slackers were nowhere to be found.
He was sick. I was the
Wow,
slacker.
okay. Um,
Yeah, but never mind.
Nope, I was trying to get it done early, but it lasted the whole time. So we, had our typical agenda, had a report from the TIC subcommittee and the Forest Management Plan subcommittee. We also considered the recommendation to the MCSD Board of Directors for approval of the MOU with Right Tree Service, which you have now approved tonight. We also had a presentation from the owner of the Roshan Ranch at the end of First Road, which was the parcel that Green Diamond held on to when they deeded us the community forest. It has subsequently been purchased. There was a lot of, he filed a timber harvest plan very recently. There was a heavily pushback from the neighbors. And so we had the owner and the neighbors there talking it out. It was a much more civil conversation than we were anticipating, but had some good back and forth. He basically, the timber harvest plan was sent back with comments from CAL FIRE. So there is no current timber harvest plan for that parcel, and they are working on updating it.
Oh, so they got pushback from Cal Fire?
Yeah.
Can I just, I know it's not the time or place, but what was the substance of it?
What was the substance of CAL FIRE's comments?
Yeah.
There was quite a few, including one about how the first, and we bifurcated this agenda item into two things. So one, just a general presentation from the owner and the neighbors on the development. And the second one was on MCSD's easement across that property. We talked about that under a separate item. There was a number of comments from CAL FIRE, including that easement isn't discussed in there. There was a couple special treatment units that they had proposed that weren't required. And CAL FIRE said, yeah, no, that's not a special treatment area. Kirsten, anything, one of my.
I was just gonna say, all of CAL FIRE's comments back to them that they wanted addressed are on CAL FIRE's website under the plans.
Okay.
So you can see, the CAL FIRE's website is very informative. It has everything that was submitted for the plan, every public comment that has been received, and also CAL FIRE's response.
No taken. I'll go look it up myself. Thank you.
Director Mayo.
So I'm wondering how many folks you met with that.
Anybody got a guess as to how many public were there? 20?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So I just wanted to comment that a couple of the folks, and I think I mentioned to you, Pat, that reached out to me to go down and meet with them and walk around and stuff. And I did that 3 times, but actually we never actually physically got together. So we had some emails back and forth. And I think that was calming to them. And some of the initial outreach to me became much more, let's do this informationally than, so I hope that may have helped a little bit.
Any other thoughts or comments from
Nope. That's my report.
of public on that issue? Humboldt Bay Municipal Water District, the Water Task Force
Did not meet.
did not meet.
No,
I'm gonna have to call the Humboldt Bay's manager and say, need to have our biannual meeting.
occasionally.
Occasional
I think it's been a
biannual.
quad annual lately.
Okay. Anything else on active committee reports? No, all right. The legislative and regulatory reports, Dennis, that's something that you.
I have a few things,
Yeah.
and I've kind of concised them here so it doesn't go on and on. There's lots of stuff happening, as we all know. I appreciate our staff weighing in on a lot of this, and our general manager and our board secretary with their comments when I present things, and also giving information to me as well. I appreciate that. So let's see what we got here. Number 1, August the 11th is the Agriculture Water Management comments on the USDA and the DOI NEPA final rules. And I've made my comments on it. Aqua's made their comments on it. And so actually okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, a little different. We have an amazing event again this year. The Aviation Redwood Air Show is August 8 through 10, and that is awesome. And I think we all should support that as much as we can. Number 3, Aqua Wednesday, the 20th is the grant seminar that I mentioned earlier. And if you wouldn't mind, let that new person know, and if she wants the Zoom stuff, I would be happy to give that to her. I don't want to like force it on her, but this is going to be a really good deal, and so I'd be happy to present that information. And let's see. And on August the 12th, we're having our Region 1 event.
We're going to be
North Bay Innovations And I think Scott and I are already to go to that. And where, my brain's not working. Where's our meeting place?
You should probably figure that out before you leave, huh?
Well, we know, I know, I just didn't write it down, guys. I apologize.
were reading it right off the thing. It slips my mind now.
I know, it is, Santa Rosa.
It sounds.
Yeah, it's Santa Rosa. I apologize.
I'm just kidding.
And then August the 25th is the Aqua Conference. And I think we've all vetted that out. Anyway, on the legislative end of things, our ag meeting is the thing that I'm working on right now, because the agriculture bill, and most people don't realize how that cuts across many swaths and affects us as well. So we're working on the ag bill. So anyway, that's not much of a report, but there it is.
I had something. Please do. It's nothing I had marked too, but I'm not gonna be able to find it, so I'll probably just wing it.
I know what you're doing, and I'll give you that.
Okay, yeah, so if we should be paying attention to the Eel River Basin, is that, yeah. So they're fixing to sue or they filed, that's right, they did file suit against the farmers for impacting the level in the Eel River
For their wells,
because of their wells,
Yeah.
the draw, because of the agricultural draw and
Right.
that. This is very interesting. I think it's something that we need to keep an eye on. This could have ramifications for drying out
yeah.
that whole area, and that's pretty much the breadbasket for Humboldt County. I don't know what the percentage of hay that's grown in that area for
Well, there's
for the dairy
grazing,
farmers.
and there's
grazing
hay,
and
but-
there's the quinoa and the corn
and
and the bread, the
we're
organic
a
wheat.
member of that Sigma.
Yeah,
Okay, and one of the reasons that John Corbett and I had pushed to be on it was for potentials like this. And I can tell you without reservation that the draw from the wells and irrigation has zero effect whatsoever. Now, obviously, I'm saying this right. Those who are suing are going to say something different, but you can take it to the bank if you want to. This is strictly another BS way to get money on an issue that they found that they could get into. Okay, there's timeframes and all over the state. Sigma's a big deal, and I worked on it for years, and that watershed has its ups and downs and cycles, but what little is being drawn out of groundwater in that watershed is insignificant. All right, I'm not a lawyer. They're suing. They can tell me to go to hell, but that's my opinion.
How would you see that impacting us?
Here's the deal, Jim. It doesn't impact us specifically, but like I said, when I brought this to the board a long time ago, is that things like this could potentially occur. And when federal funds are appropriated for different processes throughout the state, not just through state revolving fund, but other processes, there's ticklers of who gets to apply for those funds and why. And many of them are and will be tied to, are you in a Sigma? And if you're not, well, then you're just out of that particular funding deal. So that was my main thing. I also was concerned about these lawsuit kinds of things. Does it affect the ratepayers of McKinleyville Community Services District directly? I don't know. Do you buy milk? Do you buy beef from our local distributors. In that way, yes, but the strict line item, perhaps no.
Sure it does.
So,
Yeah, because you have to consider the fact that these wells, these people have had these wells for, hundreds of years. And there's a huge, potential that the case law could be created that basically, takes away their water rights.
and that's part of the issue. And this activity has been reduced by 60%. You know that 60% of the dairies in that watershed are gone? And all these conservation easements and which are good things. We're not saying that's not. So again, my opinion, and if you want to sue me over my opinion, go ahead. And I won't mention your name, but you know who the hell I'm talking to. This is strictly a way for you to make more money for your little group.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep. They have to have invoiceable hours, and this is the way they're gonna go about getting it. But and they're gonna get it. But also, we have water right issues with Humboldt Bay Municipal Water District, and if somebody comes along and says that you're not using your water appropriately, and then we get into a big litigation over that. Not that it's apples and apples, but it's
Right,
definitely
right.
apples and oranges, but it's still a water right issue. And there's a potential for some
And
for
just
case law to be
because-
changed.
And just
significantly.
because we're not designated in our Mad River, doesn't mean it couldn't get there.
Well, we went through the Sigma here in
Oh, I know.
in Mad River. Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we were whatever the yeah. We were determined that the farmers weren't impacting it enough to cause it to be.
Oh, and we all worked on, many of the board members here already. Who was impacting this was the pot growers, illegal water diversion. That's what was impacting things. And even that isn't hurting the Eel River for those people downstream that are using it to pump out of their wells for stuff. It's just insignificant.
Okay.
When I give an opinion, I'll tell you.
And you will keep us appraised on
Yeah, I'll definitely be keeping an eye on it.
it. Okay. Anything else on any comments from staff or from public on legislative and regulatory activities? No, okay.
Those are clinking glasses.
Yeah. Can we move on to staff reports, beginning with finance and administration? Samantha, please.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add. Thank you.
Thank you. James for operations. Thank you. Parks and Rec, Kirsten.
I wish I had nothing to add. So you all have a flyer in front of you.
Thank you.
The Mad River Rotary has selected us, our Parks and Recreation Department, specifically the BMX Park project for their annual fundraiser this year. So you have your kind of basic invitation right there. That's our flyer inviting you. It'll be on September 27th out at Blue Lake Casino in the Sapphire Palace at 5:30. And the funding that we are trying to get, as you guys are well aware, we cannot afford to put in the restroom facility, given that this grant was awarded in 2020 and increasing costs have been insane. There's many things that have had to kind of get the axe. The restroom was one of the things that got cut out. So we still would like to be able to put in the restroom. So this fundraiser we're hoping will be a great effort to bridge the gap to get this funded and get it put in. It is restrooms and a concession stand. And Pat, did you want to chime in right now, or you want to wait for your?
I'll chime in with, I hope to see you all there. Expect to see you all there.
We will be there, yes. Just general swag. What's the swag cost of this?
400 grand.
Wow.
Well, that's what the bids.
The total, yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Good God.
And so as being on the board for Rotary, I'll chime in here a little bit, So our intent is, we're not going to come anywhere near that with the fundraiser this year. We typically net, somewhere in the $20,000 to $30,000 range, and a portion of that money we use for other things besides this. But what we think we might be able to do, and this will be a multi-year thing, is hopefully we'll be able to put together a group of volunteers and do much like we did for the fire, Rotary did for the substation, and get, use cash, and also volunteer, and also donations from other people to help get it built. But we definitely at Rotary are going to step up and support MCSD in building the restrooms for the BMX park.
Beautiful.
And then the only last thing for me to add was Dennis asked that I introduce Jess again to all of you guys. So Jess is here, shadowing Joey. She has been introduced to you guys. She is our environmental programs coordinator, and has been identified, given all of the forest committee and subcommittee meetings that she is helping facilitate, as the logical backup for Joey in the event that he cannot be here because he has won the lottery or has vacation, or to run meetings. So that is what she's doing.
Yeah, let's not talk about getting hit by a bus, because that just happened the other day.
So welcome again. And it's really nice that anybody can help Joey with logic. Lovingly, anyway.
Okay, Pat, do you have a president's report for us?
I do have some things to add. 4.5 million gallon tank, backfill is coming up around the tank. Got a projection today that they will be done backfilling at the end of August. Then they need to build the road, pave it, put in the curb and gutter, and finish it up. I bet now we're looking at October before they're actually done. I'm just hoping they are done before it starts raining, but it's moving.
It doesn't start raining prior to that. When we hold up. Point down.
Well, yeah, I think, once we get the backfill up and we get that all compacted and stuff, they can keep working. Did want to give an update on the community forest fire. So the second fire was much smaller than the first, but it was basically in the same area. CAL FIRE did have their investigation team there. They rightly so won't share a lot of information, but they basically said, well, wasn't caused by lightning, and it wasn't caused by a automobile or anything like that. So
is it considered a criminal investigation?
yeah. So we'll see where that goes. Speaking of criminal investigations, to our break-in at our courtyard, Joey sent around the notification that they did catch that person. And we got a bunch of the tools and stuff back. We're also looking at upgrading the security system. We've already put in lights, and we're taking a look at the cameras and stuff and seeing if we can upgrade that. But
I think we got our money's worth out of those cameras. We've had them since like 2008 or something like that.
so we're actively looking at that, but Samantha, of course, is filing a claim on it as well.
What was our? Maybe law, our.
Samantha's adding those numbers up as we speak, but
I'm gonna say it's approximately less, just a little less than 3,000 with the fix of the damages and the fence and the replacement of tools. So it's not a huge number.
And I don't know my fault.
Yeah, it's 1,000.
I don't know that number off the top of my head. I haven't interacted with our insurance company very often, thankfully.
It's almost not worth it.
yep. A couple other updates. Director Mayo, Director Binder, and I met with both of the likely candidates, final candidates for the replacement of Senator McGuire's seat, Damon Connolly and James Gore. Both of them, I think we're going to be well served if either of them end up in that position. They both are very much up to speed on what's going on in Humboldt County and North Coast and are working to get even more up to speed. I don't know if Dr. Binder, Dr. Mayo, anything you want to add to that?
I would, Pat, and thank you. I apologize. That was on my other piece of paper that I didn't have to bring that up during my thing. And I concur at 100% with your assessment. What I found is that, and this is a big deal to me, we absolutely bifurcated the social political nightmare that's going on in the country and in the state. And we focused on our infrastructure, our day-to-day financials, the things that are the nuts and bolts that make the district work and how they can interact with us doing that. And I found them both to be spot on. And I would be happy with either one of their representation. And I think they would stick to the issues. I mean, they'll do, you know, the greater state stuff, that's a whole nother thing. Whatever. Anyway, but when it relates to us, I think our relationship is going to be very good with either one of them.
Good. Yeah, thanks. I just wanted to thank you both, all three of you, for doing that. I wish I could have been there, but yeah, there was another time I was out flitting about the countryside. Been doing a lot of flitting lately. Which I need to get in the morning.
Have anything else to report?
Oh, I'm done. I just wanted to also say, I think the 4x4, 2x2 meeting with Sheriff Hansel also was very productive, very good. We brought up the joint meeting between MCSD and MCMAC, talked about the emergency response and recovery, and he's more than willing to show up and bring county OES, et cetera, talk to that.
So, but we have that subject still hasn't been broached with the MCMAC about
Correct.
whether they are on board with doing something about that.
Correct.
So I have one question we brought up. We talked about it with him before, and Greg and I talked to him before I went out to DC about this last time, about the support they'll give us for our policing and enforcement on the facility and using their little OHV unit and stuff. Did you guys get to broach that anymore about kind of a formatting, whatever?
No, we didn't really talk about that. We talked about the community policing, the retail theft.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's something we'll visit later, I'm sure.
We've already got something in place for that.
Yeah.
That's kind of, he's pretty high up the food chain for, I think he's supportive of that.
Oh, 100% when we talked to him. Yeah, I just, yeah, just figuring out, because I don't think I've heard anything in terms of these days they'll be there or who to call or just all that'll be vetted. I realize that it's not imperative to have any specifics tonight. I just it's a big issue for us, that's all. Thank for this, any support we get from them.
That it, then? Okay. President's report will be very brief. We'll just add a little bit to what Pat said about our meeting, roundtable meeting between McMack and MCSD and with Sheriff Council. The president of McMack, Mary Burke, raised the question to him, what about incorporation? What will that, how will that affect the safety services and the I think it was a nice open-ended question, and his response was very clear and very much to the point. He said, we could, with incorporation, we could expect the city of McKinleyville to contract with the sheriff's department for safety, police protection. And the net effect of that would be to have dedicated deputies here rather than sharing them with other parts of the county.
Did he give you the price tag for that?
We kind of skirted around that, and both the price, he did give us a price tag of what was it, $180,000 per year per deputy. That includes the deputy and the vehicle.
I think it's more than that.
Yeah, I can read.
I think it's
But
more
since
like
that's not gonna
300,000
happen,
for
thank you.
deputy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes, he did give us a number.
Yeah.
We did not get to the issue of who pays the bill and how is it paid, but it was interesting to just hear what he had in mind in terms of coverage, and it, I don't know. For those who would say, that, should there be an incorporation where our sheriff coverage would disappear, he's thinking quite the opposite. So, and he used a couple of other examples of
Yeah, Blue Lake and Trinidad.
Blue Lake and Trinidad. And so I found that interesting, and it's been pleasant to meet with the do this regular meeting with people from McMack.
Yeah, we won't even.
All right, so that's about all I think is useful. The next item on our agenda is board member comments, announcements, reports, and agenda item requests. And Dennis, this is the point, I think, in which.
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah. We're all fine.
Yeah, I had something I wanted to bring up. So we'll be traveling down to Monterey for the CSBA annual conference. I won't need a ride down. Depending on how I behave, I might need to ride back. So that we may not be together, but No, I'm not talking, I'm not, because Christy and I are gonna go, we're going to Felton for a few days, because my anniversary falls a couple of days before that, so I'll just meet you guys in Monterey. There you go. That way there'll be room in the car for me. But anyway, just to say, I'm not gonna, you don't have to take into account me getting me down there.
Are we in a point to vet that, Joey, or is that something, or have we already done that? I apologize.
Define bet.
Have we said we're going, who's going?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Months ago.
Yep.
Maybe it might behoove you to read.
That's too long ago.
You know, my wife's thing, I mean, that Simon and I always visit, we get into a lot of
Dennis, you suggested a more quiet. You suggested that our adjournment should be.
Oh, thank you, yes.
Would you do the honors on that, please?
Well. Yeah, I would like to request that we close our meeting tonight in honor of our colleague from Humboldt Bay Municipal Water District, Mr. Lippman. Say his name, Pat, I apologize.
Dave Lindberg.
Lindberg, I kept saying Lindberg, for Dave, who was an exceptional man. In my humble opinion, much in the category of John Corbett, someone who was beyond intelligent, caring, and amazingly had the ability to pull diverse opinions and folks together and get along. And I value that beyond belief, and I will miss him greatly.
Let's call for a moment of silence in his memory, and then we'll adjourn.
Thank you.
Quietly, let's adjourn this meeting.